Welcome to another episode of Unpacking. Now, tonight we delve into what you guys have easily been anticipating for this long time period, the part two to our relationships episode, where we delve into what apparently we're scared to discuss before. Now, as you know, the point to note here on this podcast is to agree to disagree. And all of what we say are not proven facts, it's just really and truly our own opinions that we decide to delve into. Now, tonight we go back around to what respect is in a relationship, validating effective communication, identifying red flags, completely delving into cheating and trust, and trying to get a clear understanding if prostitution, seeking a prostitute rather, while in a relationship is not considered cheating. But that's something for me. So how are we feeling about that topic? Just delving into those topics tonight, guys. How are we feeling about that? We have our guest here, Tanice. She joins us from. You want to tell them where you're joining us from, Tanice?
From home.
She's joining us from home. And we have Shae here. Yeah. Where are you joining us from, Shae? Where are you joining us from?
Joining from home in Arlington.
Great stuff. So you guys are socially distancing quite well. We're very glad to have you on the show. We can't wait to get your lovely opinion. Definitely. Now we have Alex and Josh here as usual in the studio. So let's just delve right into it. Now, of course, we have our lovely guests here. Let's, treat them with some respect, as we think they should. Right? From your guys' perspective, right? Whether it be Shae or Tanice, you can choose whichever wants to go first. In a relationship, how much is it that you value respect? Who wants to go first?
All right, I'll go.
Okay.
All right. Well, respect in a relationship. I mean, I value that 100%. As everybody knows, you give respect to gain respect. And in a relationship, it's the same thing as when you were growing up and your parents used to tell you, oh, give respect to elderly or give respect to people who, are on the road or who you don't know. It's the same thing in a relationship, really, even if the relationship is years old, respect is still due. It's very important, right? So you don't want somebody to respect your wishes. I think you ought to, as the other person in the relationship, respect their wishes as well.
So speaking on that point though, Shae, right? How is it that a man would show respect in all aspects to in a relationship? How would you say so? How is this identified from your perspective?
All right. How should a man show respect? Well, alright, so there are many ways in which he can show respect. He can, for one, things like speaking down to his woman or his wife, that's a no-no. Try to be more uplifting, try to hear her out. I don't want to use the same word respect, but it's hard not to. So, respect what she likes. Obviously, not everything that she does he's going to like or he's going to agree with, but then that would touch back on communication, in which you guys were talking about before. It boils back down to communication, so the respect can work evenly. So things like, not speaking down to her, not hitting, no abuse, stuff like that. That's how a man can respect his woman. Respect her
Mm-hmm. Go ahead. So in your opinion, then those are ways in which your man can show respect to you. That is how you would value respect in a relationship.
Some of.
Okay. All right. So Tanice, how do you personify respect in your relationship from your perspective? How would you speak on that?
From my perspective, I think that respect is really the basis on which the relationship stands, because love can come after. If you don't respect me now, you're never going to respect me. You cannot tell me that you love me and you don't respect me, because actions speak louder than words, right? And I say that from a personal point of view. So if there is no respect there, there cannot be any love there. So I think the grounds of a relationship should stand on respect first.
And I really, really love how she said that.
No, but it's so funny that she said that, because that goes back to a point that Josh made before. He said that he's able to respect a woman and not love her. He did say that in the previous relationships episode.
And I agree.
So, okay. So you do agree then that, all right, like you said, the basis of a relationship is respect and love can come afterwards. So from your standpoint then, would you say, just to get your pinpoint, would you say as a woman, you value respect more than love? Or is that even scale for you?
I would.
It's even scale or you Okay.
The reason why is because I think persons just use love as a facade to say, oh, I can do this to you in the name of love. I can do that to you in the name of love. Sure. I don't see it like that. If you respect me, there are certain things that you should know not to do, and don't call it in the name of love. If you do something to me that you genuinely know that I don't like, and you're gonna say that, all right, you do something to me that I genuinely don't like, and what's your excuse for doing that? What? Because from your partner's point of view and your point of view, we're in a relationship, and you know my wants and needs and what I don't like and what I like, and you do something to me that I don't like, it would mean that you don't respect what I like from what I don't like, because you would have done it anyway. And then people have this tendency to say, oh, when they do stuff to you, but I love you still. Certain things you do to a person, love cannot validate it as well.
Okay.
Might I just chime in?
Definitely. Yes, definitely.
I think I'm listening so as to understand and not to respond. So I am listening very attentively, and my take on it is that, yes, indeed, you're correct. We are very loose with the word love. That 4-letter word that seemingly gets used in and out of context and so easily said many a times with very little meaning behind it. All right? Love,
I agree,
by definition for me, is getting up every day and making the choice to put somebody ahead of yourself. That's my definition. So it therefore means that at no point in time, if I am operating from a place of love, should I be putting myself ahead of the person that I so-called or claim to be in love with. So if I really love you and I'm operating from a place of love, then selfishness has no place. I think a lot of times what gets kind of get used interchangeably is disrespect, or a lack thereof of respect, and selfishness. Because a lot of times you find in a relationship, it's not that the person don't necessarily respect your stance. They're just downright selfish and self-centered.
And they don't care. Don't care.
So they want me, my gratification. I need to make sure that I get what I need. And then it's not necessarily disrespect, because I'm careful how I call it.
No, you're on the right path.
You're right, narcissistic tendencies.
Right. So I can agree with you to some extent in terms of relationship. The foundation thereof should be a form of mutual respect on both parties' side.
I also would agree with you when you say that the word love is just being thrown all over the place. Oh, I love this, I love that, I love this, I love that. But I don't think people put the effort in to actually know what on how to love something and someone.
True, very true. It's been taught to us by Hollywood movies, by
Relationship goes on
relation,
Instagram.
right? On Instagram, you know, they post the best parts, or they create this facade that isn't real. Well, it's not real any at all.
So essentially, from both your standpoints, you're saying that whatever is being distributed as love out there is not true love. Then that true love has a different identity.
Majority of it, not all, but majority.
Okay.
They're just showing
95%.
Showing the okay part.
All right. So with what Tanice said earlier about you couldn't do this to me and say that you're doing it out of love, right? Some of the reasons as to why we may not have a good understanding of what persons do to us or around us or the lacks thereof is because we don't communicate effectively as to how we're feeling. Now, I would like to get a female standpoint as to how would females appreciate for men to approach them or for them to approach us when it comes to effective communication. I'm going to bring this over to Shae because, you know, I know for a fact that communication is really a big topic for her, which is a big topic for all of us. But I'd like to hear her particular points of view on what is it like to what it should be when having effective communication.
Alright, so for me, like you said just now, I am very big. A lot of persons are, but some people don't say, right? But for me, communication is key. You know, one of the priorities, one of the top things in the relationship that goes with respect, you know. For me, reach out to me, you know, communicate with me and let me know. For example, and I heard it was discussed on the previous podcast, which was saying, you know, if you can use, I was busy to, you know, overplay or to ride out not getting through to your partner. I do not believe in that. I do not. You can take 2 seconds to reach out to me and say, hey, this is what's happening. I won't be able to talk to you fluently, so we'll talk later. You know, communicate with me. Let me know. Don't make plans, or if you make plans and it's not gonna work out, you're gonna be late, something came up, let me know. I do not think it's fair to just hold out on your partner. And I mean, it could be the beginning of a relationship, the middle of the relationship, or, you know, years down the line in the relationship. Communication is key. For me, it's something very important. You know, there was this period when I was briefly dating someone who did not find communication was not even in a top 10 ranking of what he thought was important in a relationship, and it really irritated me. And you know, lack of communication causes or brings an end to good things that could have been.
So to that point, though, but to that point, Shae, right? Because a lot of people accuse women of not being able to handle the truth, even when men are trying to communicate with them effectively. I want to hear because I want this settled here. I want to hear from both your standpoints. Do either of you women believe that women can't handle the truth?
Let me just answer that, because tonight you're just poking bear. So, I do think that women are capable of handling the truth. It's when you tell us a string of lies that carry on for a period of time and we find out that everything that you were saying was a bunch of lies, and it's when the lies pack up and we find out and everything is unfolding that it was lies. I believe that I can handle the truth as a woman, but it's when you keep, it's like I've been in this situation, like personally, I speak from a personal standpoint, where I was in a relationship and I found out that this person was in a relationship with someone else, and I spoke to them about it. We had a conversation about it. We worked it out. We said that what we were going to do going forward. And months down the line, I find out that this person was almost 1 year in the relationship that I spoke to him about. Almost 1 year in. And his excuse was, I cannot handle the truth. But if you were leading me on a string of lies and I was speaking to you about it many times, months, and I found out the truth now and I'm acting a particular way, you're going to throw it back at me now to say that I cannot handle the truth when I gave you that opportunity to tell me the truth.
Okay, what say you?
Sounds familiar. Well,
it may sound familiar to a lot of people, but you know. But Shae, I want to hear Shae's point of view though, as it relates to women, because I mean, I want to get, you know, equal points of view on that. What is your standpoint on women not being able to handle the truth or being able to handle the truth? What do you think about that, Shae?
Well, as Tanice said, we are capable of handling the truth. It's just that when there has been a string of lies, as she said, you know, I can handle the truth. Yes, the truth hurts. However, my motto, my mantra, and I always say this, come to me with the truth. Anything you say, I believe until you prove yourself to be guilty to me. Then you destroy the trust that I had for you. And then, therefore, I have to question or second guess if what you're telling me is the truth or not. Right? So when you pull me up with a bag of lies, that's your problem, honey, not mine. Because I gave you the rope. I gave you the length. And I told you, like, this is my trust. Tell me the truth. We can sit, we can talk, and we can work things out. As Tanice said, she spoke, they had a conversation. Only for him to be
you know how many women would not give a man up these women these days would never give a man an opportunity to speak to a woman, an opportunity, or both female and male could never sit down and have an amicable conversation about another woman interrupting their relationship. And I spoke about it for months.
Precisely. You know, I had a similar situation in a previous relationship of mine, you know, and I mean, my relationship with this person was very long. It was long standing. Gosh, some people thought, you know, it was that fairy tale relationship where it lasts forever and ever and ever, amen. However, you know, the cheating, it was like there had to be some type of cheating. Found out, sat down, had a conversation, a calm conversation, right? However, you know, the lies continued, the deceit continued, and then when you hear from the show, relationship with the other person going on for 1.5 to 2 years, you know, and it was like, hey, why I spoke to you about this multiple times, and by multiple times I'm not talking about weeks or months.
So I'm seeing a trend. I'm seeing a trend, you know. I'm seeing a trend with both of you guys. Yeah, I'm seeing a trend, and I just want to get some clarification. Though it is quite admirable, and it leads into our next topic of red flags. Can you say? Because I do understand that love is not what we see on Valentine's Day. I think all of us here understand that. It's not what you see on Valentine's Day. It's quite ugly sometimes. Sometimes it's kind of beautiful. Sometimes it's kind of cute. But overall, it doesn't have a face of what is being painted to anyone. Can you say, because I'd love to know too, because men do not give women chances to fuck up. The minute women cheat, we're done. How could you do this?
Exactly.
Not necessarily. Not necessarily.
Not necessarily.
You can't say that. I discussed this with you in the last episode of this.
Right. I can't believe you would come and say something like that. Yeah.
Mostly, majority.
Because
of
men cannot
the minute.
Right. So before
and that's true.
Before we continue, because you had asked a question to the females, because clearly they would be better able to communicate whether or not they can handle the truth. I think yes. After getting the lies and saying it becomes a little burdensome now to then be told the truth for what you would have already assumed. Your intuition would have told you that this is bull, but you were just taking it and going along with it until, Shae said he would have hung himself with his own rope. Right? Being in that situation, hang off the tree, choking, could not survive, and the relationship ended. So I understand. I have been guilty of that. But the other thing I think that would cause for women being seen as not able to handle the truth is the delivery method, or how it is broken, how the truth is broken to them. Because, of course, you're not communicating with a child. And even children have feelings, and even children, when they are hurt or they don't get their own way, react a certain way, not necessarily in a positive light. So somebody breaking up with you over text or ghosting you all of a sudden, get the nooks and just disappear after showing interest as though they would have been there for the long haul, when it's really yes.
Josh, let me interject there.
Sure.
You know what I think men don't like? They don't like the reaction after the truth.
This is the reaction.
They know that they're going to have to do everything to earn back the trust.
You have to look at it
and
like
they
this.
Don't want to put in the work.
Women are emotional beings. Men can't take the emotion. So
we are emotional.
Listen, men are emotional. No.
Everybody has emotion.
My point. When a man will come to a woman and say, babe, this happened. You have some, well, I'm not going to say all, so I'll just definitely say some women that will get hysterical about it. And then at that point in time, the man just cannot take it and then decides, you know what, I'm just going to walk off from this because you're
But you
over
should know the type of female that you're dealing with, though. You should know what your delivery method would be or should be.
Sometimes they deal with 2 minutes, so that the mistake one for the other. Sometimes that's the trouble that comes in.
Listen, in my situation, I'm not very confrontational, so I would never get up and yell and say, oh, I was talking to you about this female and whatever. I'm somebody who in my head, I sort out my thoughts. So I think about what I'm going to say, or sometimes I find myself not saying anything at all. So I have a conflict of self to see what I'm going to do, how I'm going to respond. I would prefer to even respond to you via text more than even saying anything to you out of my mouth. That is just who I am. So in my situation, or in generally what you were talking about, I think men, the delivery method should be based on the type of woman that you're dealing with. Because if you're going to deal with somebody that is rowdy and then you're cheating on somebody that is rowdy, when you're delivering the truth, what are you going to expect? A rowdy response.
I mean, you're kind of setting yourself up for disaster if
you're
dealing with a rowdy woman.
Hot oil.
Listen to me. Calm down.
I live in Ghetto, so I've seen
Don't give these women any ideas about oil, okay?
On delivery, guys, on the delivery method, I had a previous relationship which was the same long one. That person, he he knew me. He knew me. I'm really of a calm tempera, However, I can get feisty and cuss and all that. But like, he has this thing, whereas if he did anything, his conscience, let me tell you, the conscience is a real big bad thing for him, because his conscience would have never allowed him to be great. You know that saying, oh, this won't make me be great, this won't let me be great. His conscience would never allow him to be great. So if he did anything, by couple of weeks down the line, or probably even sooner, he'd come and be like, Shae, this, that happened, whatever. And I take a deep breath. Sometimes I take a deep breath and I would talk calmly, I would speak calmly. Other times, I'm being feisty and yelling and everything. But on delivery methods, it really goes to you knowing the type of woman that you date, or know the woman that you're in a relationship with for real.
Yeah, and this is the thing. This is the thing too. Men take up some women and expect them to be some people that they're not. You take up a woman that is loud and that is boisterous, and then she ends up embarrassing you if you do something out there to her in the streets. She goes and she finds the female and she fights, right?
But sometimes that's not the case.
You're not playing that game with me.
Yeah, but true. But sometimes that's not the case. The situation brings out a different side of her, because I have seen and heard of people who are silent people, they behave, and all of a sudden they get very, very cross, very rowdy. And
it kind of hit their nerves, so you can expect that sometimes will happen.
Yeah, and then there are certain situations that brings out the worst in persons. If it's extremely it hurts extremely at that point in time. I'm this type of person. The relationship that I had with my person 6+ years, right? And this person, I am this type of person. I don't jump to conclusions. I would have had gathered my evidence before I even say anything at all. And I would have noticed that there was this one female that kept calling, and I watch facial expressions as well, so I can know right there on the spot if you're telling me a lie. I just know it. I can see it in your eyes, I can see it in your face. So I study facial expressions, and this has been going on for a period of time. And what I said I was going to do for retaliation, because I would have since gotten this female's number, the female would have texted me and asked me a series of questions regarding to my partner, that he said that they were nothing but friends. And this was my reaction to receiving that text message. I actually thought about getting her boyfriend's number, because she was dealing with my husband, and text him and tell him everything that was going on between my husband and her. So if I'm not going to have a relationship, you're not going to have a relationship either. And that is how I think.
Women are vindictive.
That's not vindictive. That's just...
That is justice.
I'm not...
evil.
That is...
Yeah, no, right. Joshua is right. That's justice. It's not
I understand that,
because
justice. I'm just
vindication. Anybody can be guilty of that, whether male or female. I wouldn't say it's
Ryan, you know me.
Person.
Clearly,
no.
I am that person.
No, I'm vindictive too. I can admit that right now. I'm very vindictive. However, I would not say to say women are vindictive in that broad spectrum. No, that's justice right there. I mean, she said it. I'm not going to have
but then
you're not going to have yours.
There's a question I want to throw out. Is it right in any form for you to be that person who contacts your other person?
I honestly, this is my perspective on that. When it comes to you being with somebody and that person cheating with somebody else, I mean, we all have our own opinions on this, but I'm not going to call the person who that person is cheating with. I'm not in a relationship with that person. I'd reach out to the person I am with. That is how I deal with that. But I understand. Not for me. To me, it don't depend none at all.
No,
I am
here's
not
why I
calling
said that.
no man phone and asking him nothing. I am
Here's
not
why I
with that
said that.
person.
Right?
Men,
If it is your friend and we are in a relationship, I will love to meet your friend. We need to have a sit down. We need to be friends as well. Because I really and truly, it means that this person really means a lot to you.
Exactly.
So we need
All
to
of us
carry
are
them into the
mutuals
phone.
at this point. All of us are mutuals at this point.
Right, very much so. So I must be able to reach out. You're calling my woman at any hours of the night. I should call you at any hours of the night.
Oh wow.
Thank
Because
you
we're
very
friends.
amen,
All
Joshua.
of us put us on a
You know?
conference and do three-way.
Right? Cool.
Ah,
I took
okay.
it a step further. I saw letter, like handwritten letter to my
Oh my
boyfriend at the time, right? Talking about marriage and church and relationship. All this and this lady knew very well about me. It was 5 years out in the relationship. The relationship ended after 7 years, right? And I said to him, "Hey, all right, so I found your letter, and you're spoiling my birthday right now because I found your letter and I spoke to you about this particular person. But you insist on, I don't know, carrying on your facade or whatever it is that you have with her. So here what? I'm having my dinner. You need to invite her. Let's all go on a date. Right? Let's all go on a date. Because since she cannot leave you alone and you cannot leave her alone, then we need to be in the midst of it. Let's all
I
go
was
on
having
it.
that same problem. I was having that same
somehow
problem.
this situation just seems too familiar. I'm getting,
It's just
you know,
too familiar. But I know the person, but Shae, you don't look like the person. So I'm not going to hold it to this. I know the person, you know, and I know how you look, Shae, so it's not you. So we're safe. Okay? But believe me, I was having that same problem, like literally. The girl texted me and she was like, "Oh my gosh, she told me that he wasn't in a relationship, but this is what he did. He deleted my number out of his phone and he was trying to prove to her that we weren't together. So he screenshotted a message with my number. So she got I don't know how smart that was, but anyway, with my number in it. So the girl saved my number. I would have had her number as well. I was contemplating texting her, but me before me text somebody, but no man at all, me throw up my chip and swallow my phone. Get me? Because it's not me I take your man, it's you I text my man. So if you want to know something, you need to reach out to me, which is what she did. Alright? And when he found out that both of us was conversating, oh my god, that was where chip get licked, everything just go down the drain. And he actually confessed to me that, well, him love her. So I'm like, okay, then you love her, then go and go live your life. Go ahead and live your life. But the thing is, he says that he only has a sisterly love for me. We've been together for 6+ years. 6+ years.
Huh?
He only has a sisterly love for me.
Sisterly love after 6+ years.
Can I ask you a forward question?
Go ahead.
Because you need to ask him if it is that he has some kind of fetish or some kind of what do you call that now? Because if
Why
you're
you
his
lie
sister,
to your
yes, that's nasty.
Right.
Is it not?
Right. After twins, you have a sisterly love for me. So what I did know to get back at him, this I'm telling you, this happened all in a month. So what I did know to get back at, well, I don't know if it's really to get back at him, but this is what I did. At work, we got a client, and it turns out that the client is his boss. So I texted him a friendly text. I said, "Hey, do you know such and such and whatever? I've never met this man a day in my life." He said, "Yes." "Where did you get the name from?" I said, "Oh, he's a good friend of mine." So he said, "What type of friend is it? Are you guys into any relationships?" I'm saying, "But bruh, what if you like me like a sister, then why are you upset about your brother-in-law?"
Because he has to
brother-in-law?
protect you, to ensure that you know Yeah, doing
Right,
it in
it's
brotherly
a
So
ways.
I
protect,
just
protect.
think
Joshua,
Right, brother.
just
I
mute your
think it's
mic.
more than I think it's just more than selfishness. I think it's narcissistic because out of everything that he was doing for the past like almost a year, I was being blamed for it. Everything was my fault. This man left and went out on a Saturday because he was saying, "Oh, the babies and him need some time to his friend." And I said, "Okay, I go to your friend." Go. He took my car and left home from about 3-4 o'clock the evening. Said he went to play pool. From he went to play pool, I called him more than 40 times because something was wrong with one of the babies and he did not answer. This man messaged me back at minutes 12 the next morning asking me what was it. Coming to find out now that the girl that when she messaged me, she said he was with her, and because of the series of calls that were coming in, she told him to leave and he still did not come home. So when I texted him all the things, I just texted him. I said, "Could you please bring my car home?" That's the only thing that I said to him. He called me, "Oh yeah, this just kept me because they know that your car may drive, but bruh, your baby is here sick and I'm calling you over 40 times and you did not answer, but you have the nerve to ask me at minutes 12 the next morning what it was? What was it?"
All right, so
Yeah.
that's not a man. I'm just going to say that right there. So let's not go down this
But
memory lane.
see, it's interesting, you know. It's interesting.
Some
I was
memories.
asking the question before. To both Tanice and Shae here. Shae's relationship lasted for 7 years, and Tanice's was 6. The question I was asking, because of course we can obviously see a lot of red flags when we're in the situation. Can either of you guys speak to why is it that women give that many chances? Because from both of what you just said, both of the stories, it seemed as if, you would have known many things going on, but decided to say, all right, let me gather this together. Let me look at this from a different angle. Why would you
I
say
don't
women
want
give...
to point fingers.
Mhm.
I don't like to point fingers because in the same breath I could have been wrong that he and this female were really just friends, right? But it's when I gathered my information, I came to realize that they weren't just friends. So this is when I started to apply pressure to him to let him tell me the truth. I even went as far as tell him that I cloned his WhatsApp. And Mr. Man starts seeing like Pichiri, what's watching at the WhatsApp, and I never see nothing, right?
Bro.
So listen, I know how to use my head, right? And
the
reason why we give so many chances is because you want to believe that it's going to work. You want to believe in your head that, hey, I've been in this relationship for so long. Maybe he will change. Maybe something. Maybe he will get a stark realization that, hey, this is what I want and I want to stay here for the rest of my life and I don't want to go there anymore. But obviously the ball just dropped and I was wrong. So
and I can't speak for a lot of other females because we have different reasons as to why we do certain things. But it's true what you said, Tanice. You want to stay in this relationship for a long. I, for one, am a very forgiving person. Too forgiving, if you ask me. And initially, my thing was, I like having one relationship, one person, and I was in love, right? I was in love. So I tried to shut my eyes tight past his wrongdoings. He'd apologize and I'd say, okay, I forgive you, but don't do this again or whatever. And, it would just be like clockwork. It would be done. It would happen again. But at the end of the day, I wanted this to last. I wanted to, so we could fix it. I wanted to fix it. I mentioned counseling, but he didn't want that, right?
Jeez.
But at the end of the day, right, when after 7 years and a few days, and I decided that enough was enough. Who's panning over who? Who's coming to whose house crying in front of everybody? Who's begging? Who's pleading? What about when I was begging and pleading, my nigga, my guy? What about that? What about when I begged you?
Well,
And you betrayed me several times.
Look,
I think
brought
what
my husband
happens.
to counseling, and he lied to the counselor. We were in the call for the counselor, and I was telling the counselor who I felt with him on the call, and brother man say, yo, she's just overreacting. And you know what I hate? I'm very smart. I'm very smart. I hate when people play or toy with my head. That's one thing that would just it rips me to shreds inside. It would play back in my head and like, why the hell would you do this? Why would you say this? And you know that you're lying in front of a pastor, brother.
And if he can lie to you, why not the pastor?
To Alex, precisely. Some men are ruthless.
Ruthless. And then when the girl and I spoke about it, brother man say, if him did tell me to go text the girl, or if him did never tell the girl to come text me, and him know say him did do foolishness out of it, but him never tell nobody to go correspond with each other. I'm like, you just need to like fuck off. That's what you need to do. Excuse me.
So let me
That's fine, man.
let me drag Ryan's topic
fine.
into this. Let me drag Ryan's
Hold on.
topic.
Hold on.
If he
Hold
decided
on.
not to go and take a woman.
I want to ask. I want to ask.
Go
It's
ahead.
quite serious, you know. It's quite serious. I don't want to jump on that topic yet, Alex, but I want to ask though, right? Because in both of these 7 and 6 year relationships, right? You know, we have cheating and trust issues. These keep on happening, right? With what Alex said before in the previous podcast episode, he said he has more of a 3 strike you're out type of situation where, you know, yeah, he has that type of thing where, you know, one thing happens, and one thing happens. Clearly, from a female standpoint, from whether it's not be from what I would have researched, but it seems as if for females, it's being hopeful, have you striking out more than you should. So it becomes more than just 3 segments. From each of your standpoints, right? And this leads into understanding when to just ultimately call it quits. Like what Shae said about after 7 years, I was done. And after Tanice, after 6 years, I was done. That was a spin. When, with both of those couples.
I never did done, you know. I love the girl still. I kind of never did done because I did hopeful say it did go work out because I don't know. As Shae said, I don't like jumping from relationship to relationship. I just and know that grandfather and that grandmother love. That's what you would want. You want that. You don't want to be skipping and jumping everywhere because one thing don't work out. I mean, right? You want to try, and when you reach,
man, you want to actually work on it. You want the actual aspiration of what a marriage is because a marriage is not. Right. It's not easy. It's just not easy. It's hard work. But with your standpoint,
who walked away. It wasn't me.
Okay. Well, it's his loss, really and truly, based on what you said.
Very much
comes through culture. I am of the firm belief because females were cultured to be more relationship oriented, loving, understanding the basis of love, as opposed to males that were more of a hands-on kind of physical thing.
Yeah, but it's not only that. Our culture
new generation got no love.
No. Even with that being said, it's not only about that, Josh. Our culture teaches men to be promiscuous. It just does.
Right.
It doesn't teach.
Not necessarily. We do see it happening, but what my understanding of it is, because I always go back to the good book, the Lord's writings. It's very important. When you talk about females wanting, because I am coming out of a failed marriage. I did the counseling thing, and from counseling, it wanted to look at the beginning that things would have started to work, and then I lost my cool, and I was the one that because first she wanted a divorce, then we went to counseling and she wanted to work on it, and then I wanted a divorce, and then she said, okay, all right, let me give you the divorce. And then when the divorce is coming through now, is when I am realizing the gravity of everything, and I said, boy, we don't have to work for it. No, right? females. Yes, I should have. And in retrospect, I should have. But she's better for it. I am better for it. We're both in better places, and we have a child together. We're doing our very best to co-parent, and the world goes on in perfect harmony. Thank you, Alex, for the rousing applause. But what I really wanted to say is that females are of the understanding that they have invested their time and energy. Their vagina is connected to their heart. So it's not a transactional thing. When I allow you to sleep with me, we are connecting on the most intimate level. She's
That's
not a
not true.
prostitute. No, from all right. Let me how do I put it? From my experience, because I've been in the experience where I'm with somebody that is just sex. It's literally just touch and go. But then I've been in a relationship where if things aren't good, I'm not getting any nooks. In order for her to allow me to have sex or for us to be intimate, it means that we
You have to be on good terms.
are on good terms. So I've seen both spectrums, right? Both sides of the coin. I think in relationships that last very long, where the women are long suffering, children are involved, or there is a thing where you built this person up. When you got
Yes.
with them, they weren't at a certain level, and I invested this
Yes.
strong crow. And see him now gone after him build up himself, gonna get other woman me good. So there's a thing where you want to reap the benefits of the investments that you
I
have.
think there's a flip side to that
Not
too.
so much. Not so much. I think it's more appreciation. Because my ex, when I met him, we were 19, 18, and he lived in Westmoreland. If I tell you the story, we met on Instagram. He lived in Westmoreland, and I traveled from Kingston to Westmoreland to meet him. Right?
Wow.
And when I
Well,
traveled,
It's like a certain fellow.
Hey,
listen,
come off my
we we still just started to communicate, and after that, and then he wasn't working. I applied for a job for him. He got a job. He met someone at the job, and then he decided that he didn't want the relationship anymore. Years later, we reconnected, and he didn't have a job when we reconnected again. And he was applying for the police force, and he did not get through. And I said to him, "We need to do it again," and whatever, blah, blah, blah. He kept having to come to Kingston because I kept losing his information. And I got on the phone, and I called the commissioner of police. And the next week, he was in the training. So I say this to say it's not much of reaping the benefits, it's just appreciation. Because my ex, he would have never told anybody that's what I did for him. Never. He made it look like he was the one who did everything for himself. He whatever. I bought my car because of him. Because when he was in training school, I was pregnant and I didn't want to leave from Kingston to Twickenham Park to take a taxi and go back and forth. He was the most privileged one over Twickenham Park. He was in charge of anything. I would not allow it. I would not allow it. And to see when I gave birth, he's never been to a clinic visit. He wasn't at the christening. He was not anywhere.
Oh,
And then after that, everything changed. Every single thing. And one day I said to him, "You're very ungrateful." He said to me that if every day me want him to get up and tell me thanks when me do for him. And I was just, I looked at it and I just realized that those words will resonate with me for the rest of my life. Because me I say, somebody do so much for you twice. You got the opportunity of getting me to trust you twice. And you just now have nothing about your stomach like that for me.
yeah, he was dragged up like a hog.
Right, sir, at the rate that you're going and at the rate that I used to go for you, yes, me expect a thank you every morning as you open your eye. Thank you, beautiful.
Maybe not every
Thank
morning,
you.
but
Well,
Thank you.
maybe not a few, but
You get
show some appreciation.
right, a shout out every now and again, a written card,
Yeah.
a
Yeah, but
post.
that was
Nice little-
never done.
Yeah.
Never done. Every Valentine's Day, I got an excuse. Oh, them some of them, I'm not really too deep on them.
And it's
things
still
there.
alive?
I tell you, if me take up a man, will tell me so them not in a Valentine's Day again, one got kick my foot. Come and know how dumb me could have been again. You hear me?
Has he ever made him have diarrhea or anything?
Huh? What was that?
Go ahead, Shae. I'm just being devil's advocate.
What were you saying about the
No, I was just wondering if she didn't punish him in any way, shape, or form. You know,
He's
like
not that
diarrhea.
type
here,
of
there.
As I said, I'm not confrontational. So those
No, that's not
things I would look
confrontational.
at it.
That's not confrontational. They cook him a
So
good
Josh,
plate,
Josh,
or you mix
why?
him a good jug of juice
Why?
and
No,
leave it.
Josh, why?
And I
Why are
yeah,
you
man,
telling
some
this
penance.
little voice?
I never said the
for
point.
Dexter, that's so funny.
Lots of people
Exactly,
have
right? It
My
is.
problem is
It-
My problem is I'm just always finding excuses to say, alright then. I'm always looking at my head for say, this is why I'm do that. Yeah man, I'm alright because I understand. You know what, you not celebrate Valentine's Day, I understand. I really truly like it and still, you know. Yeah, man.
Oh.
Say
Yeah,
fine.
that's just me in my head.
You're just being.
No, but it's to this
You're
thing. Let me tell you, the reason why I can appreciate Tanice for saying that, because a lot of people do that. A lot of people try to conform to what is just to create the reality of what that fantasy is, just to make things a little bit better or not seem as terrible. A lot of people do that.
But more
It
often
took a
than
whole-
not, when that happens, it means that the person has gotten into the next person's head. And there is some form of gaslighting or manipulating happening. That's first hand
Not
experience.
some
Yes.
form of it, man.
Yes.
Not some
There
form
was
of that.
not even some from it was the direct yes.
That's direct. That's direct. So that's not some form of it. That's gonna happen. That's why I believe. That's why I believe it's best Peter's voice your own opinion. You don't have to be brainwashed by somebody else. But I'm
You
just
don't
saying
know
it
that it's
happens.
happening, you know. Sometimes you
won't. You won't.
don't know until you.
Okay, if the
Think
person
about
is a good manipulator, you won't know. You won't know.
I had to find myself questioning if me really, because remember me tell you, I'm pretty versed where smartness is concerned, and when I find myself after situations, me I look back at me and say, what the hell just happened right there? So, why is it that me allow somebody to convince me? Say, this is not, when I see the information in front of me. Like I found a receipt in my car for 2 persons for Burger King. I'm gonna take up the receipt for 6 o'clock. So I say 8 o'clock. I'm gonna know it's a curfew at 8 o'clock for after 8. I said, brother, we had up on the road after 8. Oh, but they go buy something, man. Somebody just called me on the road and begged me for buy something. I'm just buy the same thing when me I buy me. I said, what?
So where was your Burger
After
King?
me, I look
He
for
came
it.
home?
Huh?
Did he come home the night?
I know he slept at a hotel with the same girl.
Oh,
Yeah.
So can we? Please.
you might have to cut this into 2
Because y'all
segments.
bringing up too many things.
It seems like it's touching close
Because
to
I'm-
your,
Alright,
your,
okay, I
your
wanna-
conscience and your
Very
thing.
close to base. Very close. A matter of fact, it's not touching close to base, it's the pan base. It's in the middle of the base and
It's
me in the
on
face.
base.
So let's,
On base.
yeah.
But question to these females though, I wanted to ask the question before, and it was brought up in the last podcast episode. I just want to have your understanding, so these gentlemen can hear, because they attacked me. Do you believe?
Prostituting?
Hold on, man. Just
We need to put your fence.
I'm still on the fence. I'm not gonna move. I want to have an understanding of it. I'm just getting
Somebody
some
gonna
person.
hit you with a
'Cause
slingshot.
I have a reason why I think so, but I'm gonna ask though, Tanice and Shae here, right? If you're in the relationship that you were in, right? Let's say, for instance, neither of you guys suck toes. Or you're not really so much into fellatio, right? That's not really your thing. And you decided to outsource. You decide, okay, what we can do, we can bring a third wheel in, temporary wheel, to just have this have you get what you want. Okay, he just want this action done. It isn't a case where you want any form of emotional attachment to this person. It's just to get this particular thing over with. Do you believe that him requesting a prostitute and have the prostitute come in, or rather him deciding not to come home to you but go to a prostitute to finesse himself, and then he comes back home to you, did he cheat?
First of all, after me give you options and say yes, you can bring somebody with me, you'll go out by yourself?
No. Two things happen there. Is one when him ask you, I want him to do it. One and the same. So it says there's a case where after you do what you do, him go find. No, that's not it. It's like one scenario where we guys discussed it, or if he went out there. In either scenario, did he cheat?
In the first one where we both agreed, or where we both agreed or had a mutual understanding that, hey, that fellatio thing is not for me, that suck toes thing is not for me, so hey, we're gonna find somebody that can please you like that, and if you don't do something to me, maybe that one person can do it to me as well. In that case, no, I would not consider it cheating. But the other scenario, yes.
Exactly,
Cheating.
Mr. Vince.
Okay, all right. We haven't heard Tanice's point of view. Why are you attacking me, sir? I just want to hear what's happening here.
Well, that's something that I've actually thought about. So since you want this person so bad, why not just give it to you? Why not just give you what you want with me knowing? But I actually caught myself and was like, no, I'm not going to be a better boat world. Fuck you.
Okay.
Anyway.
Have you caught yourself?
But question Tanice or Shae, can you see where I'm coming from? Could you understand why I have that standpoint? See? You see that?
No, it's not a matter of we don't understand it. It's not a matter of we don't understand it. But cheating is an ethical thing. It's a moral thing. Isn't the basis of a relationship emotional attachment? No, isn't it really from that emotional standpoint? No. Because some of these relationships are not emotional. It's a sugar daddy kind of thing. He is taking care of my expenses in exchange for a little nooks. So don't come and give me that. Everything is this emotional connection, I think. When you have decided to tell somebody that I want you, you want me, we are committing to being together. Unless it is an understanding between both of you to carry somebody else in, the minute that you step out, that constitutes cheating. There's no if, but, nor maybe.
Right.
I agree.
Whether you pay fees or she dash it on you free, it is cheating.
I see. Okay. Point made.
I mean,
Mr. Josh,
if your girlfriend says to you, yes, you can bring home X
I mean,
person,
as what Shae said, I would discuss it. As we discussed it.
Exactly.
Sure.
Why would I want X person?
Go out there and go get some to pay for it. It's cheating. It's the same thing I said the last time.
Yeah, but
I don't know.
I mean, it's fine.
First of all, you should have jumped to me say, no, babe, why you don't want me to do that? If you ever agree to that when me ask
right
you,
off the bat.
Look
Problem.
here now. Back up your bag and go.
Well, I can say differently than Tanice. I can say differently that I have actually, been like, oh, let's have a third person. Not because I have actually. But not because he was like, oh, I wanted to do this or that. I was willing for the entirety of 7 years, or when a relationship started, after a while, I was really invested. I was willing to do a lot of stuff. No, I don't know where some men get this notion from. They don't want their wives doing certain things to them, so them will make other girls do it. Like,
it's not just
my guy, if you're getting the full package from one female, both uncool respect, why you need to go to the door to get it?
No, because he
Exactly.
wants to. because he wanted to cheat. He never want one person.
Yeah.
So that's just an
That's
excuse.
it.
And
Just
that
an
also
excuse.
happens with the females as well, especially the Christian ones. That the Christian ones who are fornicating are not throwing any stone. But they will tell you that they won't do this or they won't do that. They're leaving it for their husband, but they're still having. You understand me? If you're going to do the deed, do the
See, when
deed.
they say they won't do that and they won't do this and they're leaving it for their husbands, those are the ones that you just need a little bit of persuasive talking to just get right into what you.
Yes, I do.
You don't even
I
need to
agree.
put on the ring, just a little bit of persuasion.
I do agree, but I know of somebody who is well going past 30, mid 30, and she only gives head.
Do you want me to go? Do you
Only?
want me to have a sit down with this person and give you a different opinion after a couple days?
Well, we know that you are very persuasive.
Alexia slick, man.
Yeah, man, very slick. Very, very slick. Slicker than the lubricant. This one here, sir. This one you have to be careful with. So don't let him touch you after the conversation. You might find yourself.
Stop it. Those days are good.
We're on that point about the needs and stuff. I wanted to ask these females about something that was burning from the episode before, about the need to be dolled up and it not being a societal pressure. Do you believe that women need, they require money or sustenance, so to speak, to be able to doll themselves up to be appropriated with the world? Do you believe that that's something necessary for women to have?
Let me just grab that one. So, not to be up to standard with the world, but I mean, if you are having sex with me and I'm giving you what you need, don't you think I need soap to bathe so that you can get fresh vagina? You don't think I need perfume to smell fresh?
I totally agree with you, because as I would have shared,
Pay the maintenance tax, you cheap
in my relationship, they say the two become one. So it's my vagina, it's my breast. I have to ensure that I take care of it so that I may have access to it. I don't want to, want something and then it smells kind of funny, or you understand me, or it's not shaven, or them kind of things there. So when I go to Mega Mart or thing and I'm walking with my little basket and my sanitary napkins in there and my tampons, and I get up to the cashier and people looking at me funny, I just smile because it's my own and I'm running home to take care of it. You understand? But outside of that, we were talking.
Think like that.
Yeah, that's fine. Most of them have more than one vagina, so they don't really. It costs them too much to have to maintain all of them. Outside of that, we were really touching the base of the hair and the nails. Now I'm of the view
and the makeup,
right?
In some cases,
I'm of the view that is not my responsibility. If I have it and we have a conversation regarding it, then sure. But I don't think it is a requirement.
Sure, at some point in time, we'll be pulling on that here.
Contradict
that.
Because remember that a woman is a representation of their man as well.
That's true.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you.
That is true.
If you don't feel the need for me to look a certain way, you want me to go with you look like a scumbag?
No,
you don't want me, for when we're going out, people are looking at me and like, oh my gosh, that's his wife. She's so pretty. Da, 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 da. I mean, it doesn't have to be all the time, but for occasion, it doesn't have to be all the time.
Right. So what I'm saying is that in my situation, it's a little different, because I can't quite say I've been with anyone, and then in the relationship that I was in my marriage, my ex does not wear weave and wigs or whatever they call it. So I would pay for her nails to be done. She only does her toes. So, and I love it when she does her toes. When she paint them white.
You're one of those people.
Understand? Right. I absolutely love it. I tell her. And when she cut her hair a certain way and she come home, it's problems, because you have just awoken the beast. And I let her know that she look absolutely wonderful, ravishing. So in the case like that, sure. But you have some people that, boy, you have never seen her real hair. All me I there, I mean never know what your real hair look like. I even have hair.
That's a different situation.
A complete different situation.
Situations like those that I don't necessarily like, and I would never put myself in a relationship like that, where it's a high thing.
I mean, that's different because my ex, when we were together, he told me that, him don't like eyelash and him don't like the bag of makeup thing, and with the girl when did I talk to, they post a picture on social media of one her and the girl have, weave her face full of makeup, her eyelash them long like straw, and it's just
alright. So the umbrella thing now.
Yeah, so may I
That
say,
thing,
you just said you don't want this, but you're dating this when me did I do this because you say you never did want it. I may tell you, my heart. I not took my own hand, but my heart. I'm a kind of dim down.
We can hear that.
Listen, I am using my
me dim down a notch because he must say him not really like the bag of makeup, and then but yeah, the person where you have to step outside with them braid them ear, them wear eyelash, them what you mean? What you talk about?
Bro is confused. That's the point. Just
no. Sometimes it's not confusion, Sometimes it's not confusion. It is the variety. Variety is the spice of life. That's what he wanted. He wanted somebody different. And so when he approached you, he's giving you the story that he wants from you.
Yes, every man. I say this to every man.
You want me to sit down and turn housewife in a robe, and
because that's what he see the wife.
Man that I have a woman. A woman can be changed in so many different ways. You can have 10 different women for the week. If you buy her and do her hair, change her hair, or say to her, babe, would I like to see the color upon you? Something like that.
Yes.
You can have a different woman every day of the week.
We agree, but that means that he is completely and totally invested in that one relationship. You know how hard it is to manage so many people. Split personality disorder. Him can get a psych degree just by being with all of those ladies. You can't do that to the poor soul.
Listen. I'm an artsy person. I'm creative. I think for me, being creative or being artsy, it's more of, this is me, this is who I am. I do go without makeup, and these days since COVID-19, I've been going without makeup for, a lot. However, I like to put on a little makeup here and there. I don't live in it. I like to do my hair. I do my own hair. I make wigs. I do my own hair. I do my own nails. So, whenever I think I need to be flashy, I put them on. But don't try to plain Jane. Don't try to plain Jane me, because you never meet a plain Jane.
Exactly.
Listen, I so agree. I so agree, because even on my birthday, which was last year, my husband was like, "Oh, you don't need to wear makeup." I'm like, "This is the one time I don't wear makeup all the time. This is the one time that I need to just wear a little makeup and do my face so I can come out, quote unquote."
And can I say, Tanice, you looked awesome. I saw the pictures. You looked really nice.
Thank you.
God damn,
wow. We need to go dig up those pictures.
For what
when
purpose?
we were at the place, and the other guys at the place were looking at
a man's point
he
of
was
view.
like,
Yeah,
he
man,
was
him
like,
get
"Oh my God."
antsy. Him get antsy. That is
him get antsy. And him tell my friend say, come like, me I forgot all lamp on her under all night. I'm like, but bro, you were the one who said that.
Bro, put on no makeup.
Listen, I love how you call him by what he wants his position to be, bro. You know?
Oh, yes.
Oh, probably he thought it was a church thing, you know. Maybe it's not a familiar, family kind of, you know, brother and sister at church. Maybe that's what he think. You ask him.
Listen.
Clarify.
But just so we can bring it back, I need to ask you this before we approach our cutoff point. We can recognize the red flags in a relationship. We can understand what cheating and trust is. But from the standpoint of both of you, women that are here, one 6 years and the other one 7. Even though Tanice did say that it wasn't her that decided to end things. From Shae's point of view, or from even Tanice's point of view, could you say what are the signs to your calculation as to how you would have ended that relationship, or what caused you to do so? Ultimately caused you to do so.
What would have caused me to do that, to end the
To
relationship?
decide that you don't, right, exactly. What would have made you realize, I don't think I can do this anymore.
If I'm going to be completely honest with self, I don't think I would have. If I'm going to be completely honest,
I appreciate that.
I needed
I
that
appreciate
push. I think I needed that push from him to let me see that, hey, I can do way better than this. But I need to sit down and wonder if I'm really worth the relationship. If me this, if me that. At one point, bro even said to me that, yo, me nah fix up myself again like I used to fix up myself and go gym. I have twins. I go to school. I go to work every day. And that would have came out of your mouth to me. So me nah fix up. So what do you help me with? So I think that with all of that being said, if God never lick him in the back and say, tell her say you want to live, tell her say you want her, then I probably would have sit down there same way. And if me be completely honest with myself, I love this person, but I love me more now, knowing that I exist without him.
Right.
Bros,
But,
right
yeah.
for the pause.
Precisely. Well, it would have just
What about you,
honest
Shae?
But no, and Ryan, you know I do not disrespect people that way, but in definitely would get a solid SYM from me. But for me, it was the cheating for me. It was the cheating for me. That was it. The cheating. In every other aspect, it was okay. Being taken care of, being spoiled, going out, the other nice things, there were so many nice things that I really loved. And, I think that made it really hard for me to leave. And that's what took it to 7 years, because in truth and in fact, it could have been cut off from a very long time ago, right? From before the 7 years, the closeness, the love, and everything that I had, all of that we shared, everything that we shared, it was perfect. Well, almost perfect, except the cheating. Right, except the cheating. It was too much. Like, I could not. And Tanice, just like you said, your bro came out real strong and told you that he loved the girl. My person told me January 3rd, in the 12 o'clock bells in the morning, when I confronted him again. And it's after the girl decided that, listen, because, oh yes, me and her talked for like 3.5 hours on the phone. And
wow.
It was a part of the conversation that I decided. Yes, Joshua. It was a part of that conversation, and having that 3-hour conversation, that I decided that, you know what? I'm detaching myself. I mean, after a while, I had detached somewhat, but I was still hopeful. Like we discussed before, I was still hopeful. But then we had that conversation, and no matter how many times this girl even thinks I didn't live for him, and I never live for him. Me never live for me. Me live walking distance. Right?
Oh, this
right?
is so familiar.
What's
going on?
Don't worry, girl, faring up by your yard.
And then the 12 o'clock in the morning, my man texts him and everything. And man said, listen, you had me as a plan B. Me that was there first as a plan B. he gonna tell me blatantly that he fell in love with her. I was like, you love her or you're in love with her? Because there's a difference.
Yeah, I'm different.
So might I ask,
Mm-hmm.
is it possible, or do you believe that a man or woman can love more than one person? And by love, I'm not talking about friendly love. I'm talking about erotica, that intimate kind of relationship. To be in love with more than one person at the same time. What say you, Shae?
Yeah,
All right. It's possible to love people on an intimate level simultaneously. To me, in my opinion, it is. However, be respectful and try to, because I loved somebody before back then, but I still didn't try to cross nobody line or anything like that. Right? Sure, I said yes, I love this person, but hey, I'm in a relationship. That person is also in a relationship. Me not gonna try to stir up nothing in a nobody relationship because me not want nobody stir up nothing in mine.
that's
Even
where the
though
respect comes in.
case from the
Right.
town.
What I wanted, sorry.
Mm-hmm.
What I wanted to find out though, because Tanice is saying no, which I agree with to some extent. But what I want to find out, when you say love, whether you're in love with them, is it that you are in love with them to the point that you wanted to be with them, or it's just a one-off, you're feeling, missing them, and there was some twitching happening, and so you wanted to scratch that itch?
Twitching.
Yes, let's say that when they're on
I don't think it's a twitch.
twitching from whatever it is. Let's not get down to the finer details of it. You're straight away from the point. Come on.
All right. So for that love that I said yes to, it was a case where it wasn't a case where we were ever together. We were just really close. That person was a confidant to me.
Right.
Just this really close person that I had in my corner I could talk to about anything and get totally unbiased, responsive. Something that I loved, and this person knew me. We were really close from even before my ex and I met. We were really close. Yes, he may
Just
have
the law of
tested the
attraction. I don't think you're in love.
I don't think that you were in
that
love with
person.
them. Right.
No,
You know what the
not
worst
I
really.
think that
man
person
has
is
ever
just
said to me?
you're around somebody every day and they're giving you what you want.
Mhm.
I mean, you're going to develop some sort of feelings for them. You see them every day, talk to them every day. They're nice until you get
We
to
had
know
that
them, that
little,
person does
right,
something
and that
to
little,
crack you.
little mind, that little sapiosexual thing, the little witty banters that we'd have. It was something.
See that nice word, Josh? You see that nice
Sapiosexual.
word? You see that nice word make a resurgence here?
Yes, it did.
Oh, the banter. Which one you
No,
talking?
the
Not the
sapiens.
banter,
Sapiosexual.
the sapiosexualism that you learned from the last podcast. You just said it.
we did, and then you talked about, you called sex banter as well.
Yeah.
Yeah, so that's why I was a little confused there. But I understand. And so you do agree then with us. You're coming over to our side of things, to the logical side, the smart people side. Not saying that you're not smart, but if you join us, you'll be smarter. That you can only be in love with one person at a time. Because, back to my definition of love, in the form that is a relationship, choosing to put that person ahead of yourself. And so if you put two people ahead of yourself, you're coming third, and that's not a good place to be.
I mean,
Somebody still have to come first.
Right. Somebody has to come.
That's true.
Yeah. And this is not the Olympics where two people get the gold medal. That don't work. Oh,
Well, these women are giving two people the gold medal nowadays. So
we're not talking about DPs and all of them. So let's not even go into that. This conversation about relationships. relationships. We never
Did
touch the
he?
topic of sex.
Did he just say DPs? Did he just say DPs?
Just I think that we have way
It's because
He meant display picture. He meant display picture. He wasn't talking about what you thought he was talking about. It's display picture.
please, no. Let's him clarify because I want to know.
I think we know what he meant. He said we're just saying we weren't talking about sex. I don't think he meant display picture.
we have now confirmed that both myself, Tanice, and Shae are smart people.
Oh,
I know that Ryan is smart. So if you are lacking intellectually, we cannot help you with that. Nobody
oh
else.
my God.
Right? Come on over to the side.
No.
There were shots being fired.
This is normally what it's like when we're unpacking. Trust me, it's always like this, Tanice. But this was a very lovely conversation. Honestly, we've been here for a while and we really and truly went into some of the burning issues that persons had from the episode before. It was very, very lovely having you ladies on the show. Absolutely. I hope we have some other time to get either one of you back here, probably both or even more, because it seems as if it's a lovely conversation to get the female standpoint.
There are a few topics that we can
learn a lot from both of you guys.
So,
no, but there's many topics down the road. We have sex that this one just segue into talking about DPs, but we're not gonna just jump on that bandwagon right here because sex is a beautiful topic to discuss. But to the listeners out there, please do not forget to like, share, and subscribe this video on all platforms. If you want to check out these ladies, their handles will be listed below. You can find them on Instagram and or Facebook if they should wish to want to have you find them there, but they'll definitely be linked below. You can watch out for the next upcoming episode on Monday at 9. And from us here in the studio, from Ryan, Josh, Alex, Shae, and Tanice, thank you for listening and enjoy the rest of your night.